Okay, so we're going to start looking at the environment. We're looking at Christian perspectives, and I'm going to focus on key terms. So let's go through. So firstly, you've got abuse. That's misuse of the environment. So someone's abusing the environment. They might be cutting down trees without it being necessary. Oil spills. All of these are examples. The idea of aid, obviously all these ideas about poverty are relevant because that's taking care of people who are affected by the environment, or you could believe that actually that's a charity you should be helping, is stuff like the RSPCA, which was started initially as a Christian charity. Any kind of aid towards the environment would be a way of helping the environment. Conservation is one of the key terms that you can use, which is basically the idea that you got a responsibility to keep things the same. So if I'm conserving something, I'm keeping it the same. So a raspberry conserve that you have, or a strawberry conserve jam, that's conserved strawberries. The Conservative Party is a political party that want to keep things the same. They want to keep things the same. They don't want change. They don't like change, really. So in the similar idea, conservation, keeping the environment the same would be the idea. So you get conservation projects where you might get people meeting together to make sure that they can keep things the same, take care of the environment, anything along those lines. Earth summits will be when religious leaders or political leaders meet together to try to help or discuss environmental issues. That's stuff like the Kyoto Protocol we'll look at. Other examples are like G8, which was when you had 8 of the world leaders come together in Scotland to look after the environment. Different types of environmental pollution and climate change. We'll look at that in our next section. Natural habitats. This is natural places where animals live. So lions live in, the Sahara, or not the Sahara. Lions live in Central Africa. Tigers are in India. These are the natural habitats by which they can live. People might be concerned about affecting natural habitats because that would affect damaging, the general way by which things work. Things have been naturally in order, and if we want to conserve that, if we start changing the natural way that the world works, the idea that we'll go down a slippery slope to things getting worse. Natural resources, oil, gold, any minerals that you'd ever want to use, crops, if they're grown naturally, are examples of natural resources that are part of the environment: water, minerals, things that you don't want to waste. Recycling, using materials, and using them again. I've got a can of Coke, I drink it, I put it, that's valuable aluminium, and I get that recycled. Stewardship, that's the idea that there's a duty. Remember, D of duty, S of the 4 S's. Okay, stewardship, that's a duty to take care of the environment because it's been a gift of God. God's given the world to you. You're like a steward on a plane, and we have a responsibility as stewards to take care of all the environmental people around us, all the other people on our plane, the tigers, the trees, the grass, etc. And it's not owned by us, it's owned by God. So God's flying the plane, you could say. We're the stewards, we're taking care of it for God, and we're making sure that all our passengers, the tigers and stuff, are happy. Acid rain, rain that comes down from the air, from the sky, that causes corrosion of materials. So acid rain can lead to statues being destroyed or start to corrode away, or also it kind of affects the environment because it can damage trees and damage animals and such things as that. The Assisi Declarations, these are examples, they're statements about the world that show a need to protect animals in the environment, and it was made on behalf of different major religions, including Christianity. Saint Francis Assisi himself is a patron saint of animals. He was thought to have talked to birds and stuff. He was believed to have preached to animals. So Assisi Declarations come from this man, Saint Francis Assisi. And it's a series of statements that show that you need to protect animals. Biodegradable means something like a banana skin. If I throw a banana skin on a bit of mud or something, it's going to degrade apart, and it's not too much of a bad thing to litter. Non-biodegradable items would be things like plastic, which take a long time to get rid of. They don't degrade naturally in the biology. Deforestation, that's cutting down the trees. Basically, deforestation, cutting down the trees. Extinction is when all members of a species die out. The dodo was an unfortunate animal to get extinct. Greenhouse effect is basically, if you're in a greenhouse, it's very hot. If you ever go to somewhere like Kew Gardens, you see a big green house. It's a glass house, and as a result, it's very, very hot inside the greenhouse. Similarly, that's why they call it the greenhouse effect. It's the idea that the sun comes into the atmosphere, and actually those rays get trapped because of a hole in the ozone there. So sun rays get more into the. This is terrible science, but it's basically how you need to understand it. So you've got the sun rays, they've gotten into the atmosphere through the hole that's in the ozone layer. That heat is now heating up and getting trapped inside our planet, and therefore melting icebergs and such things as that. I've got quite a good video. I'm going to put it down there and you can take a look at it. It's a little cartoon, it's about 2 minutes long, giving a very basic but pretty good explanation of global warming and that greenhouse effect. Natural disasters, you know, tornadoes, hurricanes, natural things that happen that cause upset and problems for people. Non-biodegradable, we've already mentioned. Pesticides, you know, there's like, you know, links and poisons that are sprayed in the air to kill pests and crops. They obviously cause air pollution. Those are the key Christian terms.